Greetings! We have a new balance adjustment patch here in Armored Core. Nothing crazy, just a few weapons and some inner parts, so yeah, let's break it down. Alrighty, first on the list we have the Ducket, which was buffed pretty heavily in the last patch, so it became very strong and almost everyone was using it. As it makes sense, it was kind of the new best close range. It didn't really beat out the Estrogen, but it was still very, very good. But the changes made were decreased attack power, increased recoil, and reload time, which I think is a bit much. Just nerfing the impact and the attack power maybe would have been enough. Maybe the fire rate, but the recoil has now jumped from 30 to 49, which now means the Quicklet now has less recoil, which is interesting. I suppose it's as it should be, but still very interesting now that I've swapped. Which means now arms like the Mind Alpha with 142 recoil control can only barely handle just one Ducket with rapid fire, which the Mind Alpha are the second latest arms that could fully handle the Duckets in the previous patch. So as we see, when we spam 1, the recoil jumps but recovers really quick. Very nice. Let's check that reload. That is not very quick, but I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, I guess. But we spam both, and yeah, the recoil is just, it's rough. The bloom is mighty, which is, I suppose, as it should be. If you're close enough, it won't matter too much, but still, damn. Overall, I think this is a very aggressive nerf that maybe wasn't entirely justified, as, yeah, they were pretty good, but, I mean, their projectile speed wasn't any increased. It's still pretty slow. Their range is pretty bad. I definitely think they should have been nerfed, but not this heavily. I think this is a bit much. And so now if you want lighter arms that can handle the recoil the best, you're going to want to run the TQ arms, although even these can't fully handle the recoil if you're spraying both. Alright, next we have the Coral Rifle Walt, which did get buffed as well in the last patch. The changes this time are increased impact / accumulative impact, so an overall buff in its impact. Very nice. Alright, now let's see what that looks like. Looks kind of the same. I mean, it's building up pretty nicely. That ain't too bad. That ain't too shabby. So yeah, just an overall buff and its impact. Not too bad. Next, we have the Missile Launcher BML 6 cell, which got an interesting buff, a decreased weight. So it is now lighter. So it's completely the same, just a little lighter, which means you can run it on lighter frames and be even faster. Very nice. Alrighty, next we have the Detonating Missile Launcher Javelin Beta, which we have a nerf, increased reload time to 4.1 seconds. Which ultimately I feel won't affect it too bad. That's not that long for what it does. Its tracking is very good, the impact's still very good, and the lock-on time still isn't that bad. So overall, I think this is fine. I don't think it will affect it that much, methinks. But yeah, no, I think it's fun. Don't really know why. I mean, it's really good. I don't know if it needed this, but sure. It's not that bad. Won't kill it. And then lastly, we have the Plasma Missile Launcher 706, which got a slight buff. Very similar to the 6 cell, just a decrease in weight. Alright, next we have the inner parts. I'll go through these pretty quickly. First, we have the PO4, increased upwards thrust. That's pretty nice. Nothing crazy, but it is nice. Helps it be in a nice, lighter variant of an all-rounded booster. Same for the Burzel, increased upwards thrust. Same for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as well as for the Gills. Next, for generators, we have the Hakushi, increased post-recovery EN supply, so an overall buff. Very nice. And then lastly, we have the VP20D, which also got a slight buff, increased supply recovery. Indubitably. Alright, and that is it for this small patch. And don't worry, this didn't take up the next big patch we're going to get. That's still coming, I believe. This is just a small balance adjustment just to reflect on what the players have been using and want, and overall probably what they wanted to do but didn't have enough time last patch. Except for the Ducket and stuff. That's more reaction, methinks. But yes, I'll be sure to cover the new big patch whenever that comes out, as well as any other smaller patches similar to this in the future. But yeah, y'all have yourself a very good one, and peace.